Hi there, I'm Samantha. The title for our final year project is Effect of Substituting Egg with Aquafaba on Crude Fiber and Moisture Contents and the Nutritional Benefits of Chickpea Pasta. Background of our study, we understand that chickpea is an important pulse crop around the world because it is rich in protein. These days, many people use chickpea flour when they are making dishes such as pasta because chickpea flour is rich in protein. This way, they increase their protein intake by increasing their chickpea intake as well. Aquafaba is the leftover water from boiling chickpeas. Many say that the protein in aquafaba is said to be a factor in the ability to emulsify dough similar to pasta. Therefore, many people use aquafaba as an egg substitute. For this problem statement, we understand that statistics show HE allergy, also known as egg allergy, is one of the major issues around the world. In fact, statistics show that 1.6% to 10.1% of the general population and almost 10% of children have HE allergies. The current solution for egg allergy is just abstaining from an egg diet. However, it is complicated to find a solution or a cure for egg allergy because of epidemiology, risk factors, diagnostic approaches, and even the differences and the unstable factors across populations. However, many people use aquafaba as a substitute for egg as a way to manage with this issue.
Next, in this study, we have contained three objectives, which is first, to determine the difference between the amount of crude fiber in chickpea pasta containing egg with chickpea pasta containing aquafaba. Second, to determine the difference between the amount of moisture content in chickpea pasta containing egg and chickpea pasta containing aquafaba. And lastly, to measure and compare the nutritional benefits of chickpea pasta with aquafaba with the commercial pasta. This research study aims to determine the contrast in the quantity of moisture and fiber content in dried chickpea pasta containing egg and chickpea pasta containing aquafaba and compare the nutritional value with commercial pasta. Limited to analyzing two samples of dried pasta in which the first sample contains egg while the second sample incorporates aquafaba. The proportion of semolina flour, wheat flour and chickpea flour is exact for both formulations. The experiments is demonstrate the crude fiber and moisture content will be done triplicate to get the average value. For the aquafaba, dry chickpeas are boiled on an induction stove for 90 minutes at 800 watt. To determine the difference between the amount of crude fiber in dried pasta in both formulation, the research experiments with the determination of crude fiber experiment in both samples. Determining crude fiber analyze the nutritional fiber content in both formulation, indicating the number of indigestible carbohydrates in the samples. The mean values of the nutritional fiber content in both samplings provide a more accurate measure on the indigestible carbohydrate content in the formulation. To identify the difference between the amount of moisture in dried pasta containing egg and containing aquafaba, the research is limited to conducting an oven drying method to determine the quantity of moisture in both formulations. The oven drying method analyzes the moisture content in both samplings, indicating the amount of water in the samples. Next, for the nutritional value, we use AOSC method to analyze the nutritional value for the chickpea pasta containing egg and the nutritional values in the commercial pasta. Okay, next for the significance of the study. Ever since the discovery of Aquafaba in 2015, more vegans and egg-free diet consumers in the society have been interested in the commercial production of Aquafaba. More consumer demands encourage the food industry to supply powdered Aquafaba for the benefit of many people. Chickpea bran is a potential candidate in the food industry to be a prevalent egg substitute for communities that do not consume egg or products containing egg. The research enhanced the knowledge about the difference between moisture and fiber content and made comparing between chickpea pasta containing aquafaba and commercial pasta. With the rise of modification in the famous Italian dish pasta, this research object expands awareness concerning the many benefits and disadvantages of utilizing Aquafaba, which is the chickpea brine, as an egg substitute when making pasta. Through this research, vegans and egg-free dieters make better food choices for a well-balanced diet. Understanding the limitations of Aquafaba as a protein source ensure the community rely less on Aquafaba as a stable protein source. Although Aquafaba is beneficial for its physiochemical properties that substitute egg, this research encouraged people to consume a well-balanced diet for a sufficient protein and fiber.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So before I start, let me introduce myself first. My name is Aiman Hakimi bin Muhammad Shamsul Gama and my metric number is 33DTM20F1039. So today I will explain about the literature view on Aquafaba and also the analysis that we have done. Based on the studies we have referred to the research we did indicated that Aquafaba is a good egg substitute for vegans and people on egg-free diet. Aquafaba will become more well-known internationally as the percentage of vegans increase and hence egg allergy becomes the second wave of the allergy epidemic. Next, in this research, we construct the moisture in eggs and Aquafaba facilitates the formation of gluten because of the ability to bind thickening to improve texture and emulsify. In addition, we have also analyzed this product by dividing it into two samples, namely Aquafaba and eggs. In this analysis, we construct the Aquafaba has the general constituent of 92 until 95% water and 5 until 8% dry matter. The dry matter consists of sugar, soluble and insoluble fibers and low molecular weight proteins.
For determination of crude fiber in our samples, we used the AOC method. We had two formulations, one with chickpea pasta that had Aquafaba and the other with chickpea pasta that had egg. Each of these formulations were triplicated, so we had a total of 6 samples. Each sample was in 2 grams and they were in powdered forms. We firstly boiled these samples in 200 ml of sulfuric acid for 30 minutes. Then we removed the sulfuric acid into a discard conical flask by pouring the sample out through a filter funnel that was wrapped in a cotton cloth. We poured hot water into the filter funnel to remove any residue of the sulfuric acid on the samples. Then we reheated the residue with 200 ml of sodium hydroxide solution for 30 minutes on a hot plate. After 30 minutes, we removed the remaining sodium hydroxide by pouring it into a discard conical flask that had a filter funnel wrapped in cotton cloth. Then we poured hot water to remove any leftover sodium hydroxide that was on the residue of the sample. After this, we collected the residue into a crucible and we weighed the crucible. Then we heated up the crucible on a hot plate to evaporate any leftover water and placed all these crucibles labeled into a hot air oven at 230 degrees Celsius for 2 hours. The final step was to place these samples into a muffle furnace at 550 degrees Celsius for 2 hours. After that, we weighed the amount of leftover samples and obtained our results.
Now I will explain about the moisture content analysis methodology. First, the food sample is prepared in the correct pre-sampling method and it is necessary to ensure that the sample in solid form has been mixed. Then, 6 metal dish with lids were placed in an oven with a temperature at 100 to 105 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes. After that, the metal dish was transferred to a desiccator for 10 minutes. After the metal dish is removed from the oven, each metal dish is weighed and the reading is recorded. Weight 0. After the metal dish reading was recorded, 5 grams of dry food sample was weighed into each metal dish and the reading week 1 was recorded. The next step is to place the sample in the oven for an hour without the lid. After 1 hour, the sample was transferred to a desiccator for 10 minutes and the reading weigh 2 was weighed and recorded. Then, the metal dish was placed in the oven for another hour and the sample was put back into the desiccator for 10 minutes. Each reading was weighed and each weight loss recorded. The last one is step 5 to 6, repeated until the reading is constant.
Analyzing the results for the determination of crude fiber. We understand that the amount of crude fiber in samples containing aquafaba was significantly higher than the samples that had egg. We believe the aquafaba contributed to the overall amount of dietary fiber in the samples. The reason for this is because aquafaba is the leftover water from boiling chickpeas. Chickpea has fiber because it is a plant-based product. Fiber is in fact a plant material that is cellulose. Egg has zero dietary fiber because it is an animal-based product. Looking at the table for aquafaba, we realized that sample B was null because there was no sample residue after boiling the sample in sodium hydroxide solution for 30 minutes. We believe this happened because the general amount of fiber in all of our samples were lesser. We believe that samples for pasta had lesser amount of fiber.
Based on the results that have been collected in the table shows an independent sample t-test was used to compare the mean score obtained from two samples, namely aquafaba and egg samples. The number of mean reading for formulation 1, which is aquafaba, is 84.9100, while the mean reading for formulation 2 is 85.4267. The difference that can be seen between these two samples can be said that each sample has its own moisture content value. The significance for formulation 1, which is aquafaba, and formulation 2, which is egg, is 000. The null hypothesis is rejected. In other words, statistically, there is a significant difference in the drying time.
Okay, next, this is the amount of nutritional value of chickpea pasta containing Aquafaba with 3 brands in market, which are Adabi, Sanremo, and Kimball brands. The first nutritional value is protein content is as much as 11.7 gram in a chickpea pasta, show the lowest protein value compared to the 3 pasta on the market. This is because wheat pasta was enriched in 6% of gluten, 35% faba, and 5% egg to increase its protein content 13 to 17%. But this chickpea pasta can be an option for individuals who can afford animal protein or those who are vegetarian by choice. Next, for the total carbohydrate for 100 are 77.1 gram for the chickpea pasta, show the highest value among the 3 brands pasta in the market. This is because as the main ingredients of the chickpea pasta is made from chickpea flour and aquafaba, chickpea grains and flour characterize high content of monosaccharide, disaccharide, and oligosaccharide. Major monosaccharide from part of chickpea are ribose, fructose, and glucose. Gluten-free pasta made of 100 legume flour. Next, for the nutritional content of fat in the chickpea pasta shows the least value, which only 3 gram, and show the highest value among the 3 brands. This is because fat in the chickpea grains is characterized by high levels of essential unsaturated fatty acid, primarily linoleic acid, oleic acid, and linolenic acid. Linoleic acid has a high nutritional value due to its antioxidant properties, metabolism in the tissue of the body where prostaglandins are produced, which are lower blood pressure and control the smooth muscle contraction. And lastly, for the dietary fiber content in the chickpea pasta, show the highest value among the 3 supermarket brands because chickpea pasta contain 1.5 more protein, 3.2 times more fiber, and 8 times more essential fatty acid than cooked durum wheat pasta per kcal energy content.
In conclusion, it can be seen the importance of Aquafaba as an egg substitute in the production of pasta, dough, and can also reduce global waste by using chickpeas as powder to make flour, and by using analysis method of fiber content, moisture content, nutritional value of chickpea pasta with Aquafaba and commercial pasta, and using materials and instruments can be taken in this research. And also most importantly, this study focus on the advantage of Aquafaba as the main ingredient in this product, as well as the benefits that can be obtained from it.